Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of the space encounters. It's late. I ended up working late again. Had to replace hundreds of ceiling tiles in a house that flooded. So a pipe burst in the ceiling, ruined all the ceiling tiles. It was a mess. But anyways, it's going to be a pretty long video. I want to try to get all the woodworking done on this cabinet. And get it ready for bodywork. And another car showed up, which is the guy that I always do these Impalas for. I'm gonna show it to you real quick. It'll be on my other channel if anybody wants to watch me do it. You're gonna look at this and be like, why the heck is this here to get a paint job? It looks great. It does look good from 5 feet away. So this is another 59 Impala. This is a hardtop. Now this is just getting a driver quality paint job. We're not going crazy on it. It's got some body ripples and stuff like that, minor stuff, which is pretty typical of these cars. But looks great, doesn't it? Nice and shiny. Doesn't look like there's really anything wrong with it until you look up close. And let's see if we can focus in here. We got to find a spot that we can focus on. I'm looking. I'm waiting for it to show up in the camera. Any minute now. Come on, seriously? You're not gonna show up. Maybe it'll show up here. Okay, you see all that stuff? See all this stuff, guys? All that stuff, all under the paint job. You know what that is? That is rust. If I were to guess, I'm about 99% sure they used 2K primer over bare metal. And that's a huge no-no unless you buy 2K primer that is made to go over bare metal. So what happens is the primer goes over the bare metal, it absorbs moisture, you paint over it, which in turn creates rust underneath the paint job. So I'm gonna have to strip most of the car down to bare metal without taking all the moldings off the car or taking the doors off. The only thing I'm going to take off is the hood and trunk lid, and I'm going to take off some of the trim. Other than that, I'm working around everything else. We're going to get it cleaned up, get the rust cleaned up, put some epoxy primer on it, and then repaint the car. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. We're not making it a show car. It's just meant to be a nice, clean driver. Now this rust, you might think, oh God, that's horrible. It's really not that bad. It's minor surface rust, and it'll sand right off the metal. I've dealt with this before, and that's why I say I'm 99% confident in what it is. As soon as he sent me pictures of this car last week, I knew right away what it was. See how bad that looks? He wasn't sure. He's not a painter, so he was like, I don't know if you could just sand this thing down and respray it. Which, yeah, you could, but this is not going to stop this. If we don't get this down to bare metal, put epoxy primer on it, then 2K primer, we're not going to be able to fix this. It's just going to come back. And, you know, he's going to sell this thing. So we don't need this coming back in 6 months because it's doing the same thing again. So we're going to at least get it down to bare metal and clean that metal up. So back to the space encounters here, guys. And I'm going to be painting the doors on this pickup truck this weekend, as long as everything blocks out good. And I got to get this hood body worked and painted. And I got to get that wing fixed and painted. And I have another 59 hardtop in the back building that needs to come up here in the next couple weeks as soon as this truck leaves. So I got a lot of stuff going on. So back to the project here. So when I do jobs and I use 3/4 inch plywood and stuff, I always save my scraps from the jobs. So this is a leftover piece. I think, what was I doing with this stuff? I did a subfloor repair on a house, and this is like a scrap left over, and then there's some more pieces over there. So I saved all my scraps because I use them for stuff like this. So what I want to do is just cut this thing a little bit long for now, and then we're going to rip it on the table saw to the width that we need, and we're going to add that 16th. We're actually adding an 1/8 inch. Because this works out to be an 1/8 inch. I think it's 9.5, adding an 1/8 inch, which is fine because we got our saw cut. So what I want to do is I'm going to make this side first, okay? And then we're going to cut the profile out and everything. And then we're just going to set it off to the side. We're going to label it as left side because when you're standing in front of the cabinet and you're looking at the front of the cabinet, it's the left side of the cabinet. Then after we get this one made, we're going to roll the cabinet over to the other side. We're going to cut that side off. We're going to make that piece. Then we're going to roll the cabinet over on its back and we're going to cut the front bit down. And we're going to make that piece. And then at that point, we're ready to biscuit joint all three sides together. And then we can start, then we got to make the back doors. So that's my goal today is, and we got to make a bottom piece. So my goal today is to do the woodworking to this. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a long video. It's probably going to be a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I'll try to fast forward through maybe a few things here and there, but I don't want to fast forward through too much because I really want to show you guys how I do this. So I don't really want to do much of that. That's not my intent here. My intent is to kind of go through the whole process so you guys know how to do it. Now this biscuit joiner, look at this biscuits. I don't have a ton left. Actually gonna have to get more soon. I think Harbor Freight sells these. But back in the day, when I was a kid, I used to build furniture. I think I started building furniture when I was about 12 or 13 years old, and I used to take furniture to craft shows. My mom and dad would go take me to a craft show. We'd set up furniture and shelves and all that stuff, and we'd sell it. I've been using this biscuit joiner since I was probably 13 years old. My dad actually bought this for a job, and I still remember this job. I was on the job. When I was 13 years old, we were doing a job. Let me grab my tripod. It was a real expensive house we were working on. And these people wanted a wood grid in their floor out of wood flooring, okay? They wanted a grid, 2-foot grid. And we put 4 ceramic tiles in each grid. Okay, sorry about that. I keep getting phone calls. I literally just turned my phone on airplane mode so I don't have to hear phone anymore. But anyways, yeah, I've been using this thing since I was probably 13 years old. We were doing a grid on a floor for tiles, and we put the grid together with this biscuit joiner. So yeah, it was a long time ago. But anyways, let's start cutting this wood for that side. And my neighbor decided to, I don't know what he's doing, moving around manure pile or something. I don't know what he's doing, but it's 8 o'clock at night and I got to get shit done. So let's, we're going to cut this a little bit long, this piece of wood here. So that we can rip it on the table saw, and then we'll cut it to length after we rip it. So I need to make it, we'll go 31 inches. That gives me an inch extra. I'm not worried about it being super straight right now. We'll cut it again once it's not as wide, because it's a little too wide for that saw. So the measurement is that piece I cut off yesterday is 9 3/8. So we're gonna make it 9 1/2. That gives me my 1/8 inch tolerance for the saw blade from the circular saw. always double check. I measure just to double check. Make sure my measurement on my fence is correct. I'm actually a 16th over. Perfect. This is the factory edge of the plywood. I'm using that to run along the fence. Got a little chip right there, but I think I'm gonna be all right. I forgot that chip was on that side of the board, but I think we're gonna be okay. Nails hanging out here. To recut that. It's not very straight. Go check it on the cabinet. Now that I've made this one, we'll use this as my guide for the other side as far as the front radius. So that's going to go right there. Now I have to mark. We have to make a rabbit cut in the back. And we have to make one in the front. Okay. So we have to make a groove here. And we have to make a rabbit cut here, which is like that. We're gonna do it on the table saw with multiple passes with the blade. I have to take off my guide while doing this because the guide is higher than the blade. First thing I need to do is I need to set the height of the blade. And it should be the same for the other one too. All right. Now this is 3/8 because it is half of 3/4. Problem is this is not exactly straight because that's how the cabinet's made. Trying to think. I don't think this fence is going to go out far enough. I can get one cut. Can't get it to go anymore. I'm gonna have to wing it. Well, you know what we can do? I don't like using these, but we'll use it. our back cut. Now this is not going to fit perfectly because this tongue is all screwed up down here. Once we make a new front piece, we should be able to get it to fit a little nicer. But that's it pretty much right there. So now we have this side done. I'm going to mark left on it. And now we're going to flip the cabinet over. Cut that side out. Setting it at 11 inches like we did yesterday. A little off. That looks good. Nine and a half again, just like the other side. Excuse me. Now, if I were smart, I would have brought my other table saw out, left one set up for the grooves, and then a second one set up to cut the width. But doing it all with one so you guys can see how I do it. If I were on a job, I'd probably only have one saw with me. Unless I brought an extra one. Okay, so this is the left side. So this is going to be the right side. Okay. This is the outside of it. I don't know how the neighbors deal with the dog just barking nonstop. Don't get it. Okay, that looks like it's gonna fit. Might be a hair long, which is fine because we can cut it off after, or sand it off, whatever. Okay. Now, we got to stay below this stuff. So we're gonna go about there, I think. Actually, we could probably even go a little less than that. Let's see what it does if I just hold this fence up against this. Looks crooked. That's really crooked. Why is that? Why does that look so crooked? Where's my tape measure? Because it is crooked. This side's not 9.5. Huh? Did I make one side too long? It's okay, we can fix it. Not the end of the world. This side's correct. Well, I gotta make that other notch on the back of that piece still. Not a big deal. Yeah, see, this is too long. That's too long right there. So now I gotta figure out which side I have to take it off of. Good thing I caught that. Let me go cut this piece out right here real quick. All right, I have to take it off the top because our bottom here to here needs to be the same as that. So this piece is off by 3/4 of an inch. So we need to rip 3/4 of an inch off of this part. It's getting dark out. We probably won't get the backs made today. If I can just get the thing standing up, we can make the backs tomorrow morning. That's better. Hey, fixed it. All right. Okay. Should be done with this. There was a block hanging out on that side. I just cut it back. All right, wipe sweat out of my eyes. Now I'll make this front piece. Now, front piece is really crucial because you don't want to measure to here. You want to measure to the tongue because we got to put a tongue on each side. So we got to make sure that we measure the full width. And I've lost the tape measure again. Where the hell did I put it? Oh, here it is, right underneath the piece of wood. First off, let's see how wide it is. 4 inches. Well, you know what? Let's double check that because that measurement could be inaccurate. Need a mallet. 4 1/8. Almost 4. We're still off a little bit. $72 1/4. 72 5/8. Okay, so we need to make this side to 72 1/4. We need to match both sides. So we're gonna have to take a little bit off the top of this one as well. It's okay. I didn't even think at first to measure from the top of the cabinet because we need to make this thing square with the top of the cabinet. It's all right. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything. So 72 1/4. So we gotta make sure that this is 72 1/4. Cut this back. You know what's funny is I gotta take 5/8 of an inch off of this side and I took 3/4 of an inch off the other side. So technically I was correct. My measurements were off by 3/4 of an inch somehow. I don't know how I did that, but I did it somehow. So I need to set this to 8 7/8. No, I need to take 7/8 or 5/8 off of this. Let's do some measurements. Let's see if we have the same height from top on each side. Now these things happen and you just have to work with it. Keep in mind, I was measuring off of wood that is completely missing. So as you can tell, it's a little hard to get an accurate measurement off of that. Should have did it from the top to begin with, but I thought I'd get it from the bottom. Didn't work out so well, but that's okay. You win some, you lose some. So now let's see what we have. Top of the cabinet to the bottom here, 72 1/4, right on the money. Right here, 72 1/4, right on the money. Now I know we're right. So now we're gonna make our bottom piece here 3 5/8. Exactly 3 5/8. So we're the same on both sides. So now we got to rip a piece 3 5/8. Okay, now I'm gonna rip this twice because I want to get rid of this for this shitty spot. So I'm gonna rip it, and then I'm gonna rip it a second time. Okay, now we gotta cut it to length. Oh man, I'm sweating. Glasses are fogging out pretty bad. $25.50 exactly. Okay, now we gotta make 2 grooves. They're gonna be, looks like 3/8 by 3/8. I want to be pretty much on the money with these the best we can. Check it. And I'm going to get the comment saying, you're not supposed to cut it with the fence like that. I'm not cutting all the way through the board. Yes, you can. You're going to hurt yourself. One main thing I cannot stress enough, guys, the main thing I cannot stress enough is do not be nervous of your tools. When you're nervous of tools, firing guns, shooting off fireworks, something bad's going to happen. Okay? Don't get yourself nervous and worked up over it. That's like the worst thing that you can possibly do. I can deal with that. Maybe a 16th, 32nd over, but that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to put 4 biscuits along the front. Easiest thing to do. Take your pencil, run a mark here and here. grab an extension cord. Okay, so on any biscuit joiner you buy, there's gonna be a red mark or a blue mark or a black mark. I don't know what color mark, but there's gonna be a mark in the center of the head here, okay? And that mark right there is where you put your pencil line that you just drew. Right on the center, you put this right in the center of that pencil line. Now, you could buy a biscuit joiner at Harbor Freight. I don't know how expensive they are, but there you go. It's a half moon. And then the other side's a half moon. And now we can glue these two together. Think here how I want to do this. I'm going to wait to glue it. I want to get at least one side biscuit jointed so that when I glue this one, I can put that side on, and then I can run a couple brads through here to hold it together. If not, when I put these biscuits on, it could fall down, and that's kind of dumb. You can see how this front panel is misaligned a little bit. It actually flexes. See that? So now I got to try to fight with that. Or do I just take another little groove off on the table saw, and I'm just going to open that groove up a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and fight with this. Okay, I'm perfectly flush in the back, and I'm overhanging the front a little bit. No big deal. We'll just trim it up with the jigsaw. Not gonna be able to put one there because the it won't sit at the right height. That's okay. We have this here to hold it. Actually, can I get one out of here? Nope. Nope. Okay, that's fine. So we just don't do that one. Now, there really isn't any rhyme or reason where you put them. Just kind of evenly space them out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, these biscuits, you got to fully saturate them with glue, and they swell up as they dry. And that's what causes it to be a really good bond. So I need 4 biscuits right now. And don't eat them. They're not real biscuits, guys. I tried them. Kind of tastes like a milk bone. Don't ask me how I know. All right. So what we want to do is we want to get a good amount of glue on this whole surface and a good amount in the groove. Okay. We're going to take our finger Don't worry about the extra glue. It's fine. Okay, now we got to put some glue in the grooves on this side. And on the regular surface. It's okay, let it drip. Don't get all stressed out about it. It'll sand off. Okay, now we're gonna put a little bit of glue on top of these biscuits. Some more in the groove here. Using 2-inch nails, a Bauer nail gun. I could go grab my DeWalt, but I'm using these cheap tools because A, I like them and I believe in them, and B, I want to show you guys that you don't have to have the most expensive stuff to do this. Okay. I'm going to put one in on an angle back here. Just to hold that up. Okay, this is another important part. You can put one side on, then you have to put the front on. If you put both sides on, you can't get the front on because of this tongue. Okay? Four biscuits. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I'm going to smooth it out on the flat surfaces. I'd like to see a little bit more glue come out. And I put extra glue in the grooves. grabbing the circular saw to use the nail with. Now these are just 18 gauge 2-inch brad nails. Just big enough to hold this thing together until it dries. But if you look here, that's a perfectly tight seam. Good thing is this is flush back here, and it's the same thing over here. It's overhanging a little bit. So when I cut this, it's gonna match the other side. This is actually a 32nd in. I'm actually gonna take a little bit off of here real quick. Did I put my glasses? I lost my glasses. I know I set them somewhere. Found them. I stuck them where I wouldn't step on them. If anybody's wondering what causes this thing not, when you start pushing the blade in, how come it doesn't just run down the saw or run down the piece of wood? There's two metal spikes here and here, and they go into the wood and hold it in place. All right, so we need 4 more biscuits. Still have some biscuits left. I wonder if there's a date on this thing. It's so old that the plastic's like cracking. Made in USA. There won't be a date on this. All right. We'll cut a piece 25 and 7/8. It's kind of dark out there. Okay, this piece is cut for the back. This is for the lower bottom. And there's a little relief cut because the groove in here is not 3/4 of an inch deep. So you have to make this little relief cut, and then this will fit in right here, and we'll nail this on. And then we're ready for the bottom panel. I don't know the height of the back door, what it originally was. This scrap was laying around, so that's what we're making it. It's not gonna matter. Gotta get the glue off the artwork. I'm gonna jigsaw that front piece. Before we flip it over to the other side, I'm going to router out the T-molding groove. Do you know why that came out a little too far? Because I traced the old one with the pencil, and the thickness of the pencil made it come out a little bit too far because I cut on the line rather than cutting to the inside of the line. Okay, now I gotta cut a bottom piece. Slip that in, and then we gotta put leg levelers on it, and we have to build a base here too. Still, I gotta look at a picture because I think there's a piece of metal that goes like this, like a little step thing. All right, I'm gonna get the bottom cut. Yes, I gotta have to make a ledge for the foot. There's like a little foot area, and then we'll have to bend a piece of aluminum or something to cover it. Now the other direction, I'm just gonna have to cut it with my circular saw because the fence doesn't go wide enough. Actually, I lied, it does. That's 4 foot wide. We could spin it around. We'll put some cleats inside of it too. So for now, I'm just gonna put a bunch of brad nails, and then when we stand it up, we'll glue and staple some cleats inside, and that'll hold the bottom from wanting to slide upwards. Now, plywood is usually always have a warp to it. So if you notice, this is hanging out down here, but it's flush here. And now as I get down, as I staple, I start tapping it back in, and that keeps this flush. Okay, we just have to nail that other side. Spin this over. Okay. Now we got to make this step thing, and I'm going to eyeball it. I looked at the picture. We're going to just make it close. That's all we can do. We don't have one. Never had it. It was gone. I'm going to come up. You know what's awesome? Is by putting this step on, we're going to cover that seam up. We don't even have to worry about that front seam. Three and 3/4. I'm going to cut a strip 3 3/4 by 25 1/8. Actually, you can still kind of see out here with that overhead garage light on. Battery's dying. I wonder if I can get a couple last cuts out of it. I doubt it. Or you have to change the battery. It wasn't fully charged. I thought I could make it. Okay, now we got to figure out, we got to cut an angle on this. Okay, so this piece is going to go in here. It's just going to sit right in here. Nice honeymoon fit. Bring it flush. We got to find our angle. I'm going to cut this at a 10-degree angle for a guide. Okay, that's 10 degrees, looks good to me. We don't even need to cut it on this one, to be honest with you. We can leave that as is. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some nails in that, glue and nails. I can only put nails along the bottom edge because those are 2-inch nails, and I want to staple nail through both layers into that third layer. And I'll grab a couple screws. I'm going to use screws instead. You're never going to see them. I'll put some brads along the bottom edge still too. Okay. So now we need to make this front piece. Let's see here, I want to make this piece first. So I need to cut this at 10 degrees, but not as tall. So that's going to be the top of it. This is the bottom of it. And we're going to come up a little farther. What did I say I'm going to do? The top first. 4.5 inches. And it should be a 10 degree, 10 degree. 10 degree that way, 10 degree the same way. 4.5 inches. I am so sick of sweating. Oh. These are, if anybody's curious, these are 60 volt batteries by DeWalt, 9 amp hour batteries, so they're big guys. Make sure it's 25 1/8. Yes, it is. Beautiful. I'm running out of glue. I should have enough for tonight. I have to run to the depot in the morning. See how that nail curled out? That's why you never keep your hands close. Keep them back a couple inches. You're using a 2-inch nail, keep your hand back 4 inches. I've been on jobs and I've watched people nail their fingers to the walls. But this guy right here, if I had my hand close, that would have went right through my finger. Okay, now we got to make this straight piece down here. I'm filling in this completely. I don't want any spiders and bugs or anything else getting stuck in there. As you look here, that is a perfectly tight seam here, here, and here. We have no gaps whatsoever. So now we have to look here, and the height over here is 3 3/4. So we know our piece needs to be 3 3/4 tall by 25 1/8 wide. Now, none of these edges matter because they are going to be covered in metal. Okay, now we need a 10 degree and a straight. 2 3/8 to the inside. 2 3/8 on the low side. 2 3/8 on the low side, 10 degree angle. Don't have any more slivers of wood out here. Aha, I do. Degrees. 2 3/8 on the low side. Low side meaning the lowest point of the angle, and then it goes wider from there. Oh, I mean, that is close. I think it's gonna fit. It should be tight, real tight. I might have some glue in my van, but I'll have to look. We're done for tonight after this. I'm gonna stand it up without the legs on it tonight because I want the all the wood to be laying on the concrete just to give it pressure to hold it together. Tomorrow we'll make the cleats, we'll make the back doors. Stupid fly, get out of my hair. All right, that's a little low right here. Start right here. Okay, put a screw in there, take your hammer, your claw hammer, and you just want to pick up on it a little bit, having your claw hammer sit on this edge here. And you're going to bring it up until you're flush. Put the screw in the wood farther first. We do this a lot when you're doing framing because 2x4s and 2x6s and 8s and all that shit, they're always warped, and you do this and it pulls it in nice and straight for you. And it brought this out perfectly now. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm out of nails. All right, I'll have to get some more. You know what? I gotta do a little Bondo right here because that's got a little chip. I'm just gonna put one screw on each side rather than a nail because that's gonna hold it better. And I'll just Bondo over the screw head. All right. Let me blow this floor off a little bit so I can stand this guy up. Whew, hot. Look at that, guys. We have a solid Space Encounters again. And it looks straight too, so I'm very happy with that. Tomorrow we are going to put cleats on back here. Cleats all the way around. I'll probably cut them tonight before I put the saws away. I gotta get the saws back out tomorrow, but anyways, we're gonna put cleats all the way around the bottom, glue them, And then we'll make our lower back door and our upper back door. And the woodworking is done on this, guys. And then we'll put our leg levelers on. And then this bad boy is ready for a little bit of body work. And then we're ready for paint touch-ups. So, really didn't take me that long. I'm only a few hours into it. If even, I mean, whatever the length of the video is, maybe add 10 minutes to it, because that's about the only stuff I did off camera. So that's why I kind of wanted to record everything so you guys got a good idea. So, you know, I do this all the time. So clearly, it's way faster for me, okay? If you're not very confident in doing it, or you've done it once or twice, just plan on taking double the time. If you just focus and stay with it, you'll just get it knocked out. This is nice. I'll grab a piece of aluminum at Home Depot or Lowe's, and we'll bend that to fit that. And then I don't know if it gets screwed on or what. It must. And we'll just wrap that with aluminum. We don't have to screw with any of the artwork on the front, other than obviously touching up the black and stuff like that, but we don't have to screw with getting into any of the artwork. The sides are not going to be bad. We'll Bondo those tomorrow. We'll groove out where I glued. Short strand fiberglass, Bondo. We'll Bondo these in here. Sand all this smooth so that they're flush with each other. And then it's ready to do paint touch-ups, guys. So it's not going to be long, really. And then I'm going to bleach, spray a little bleach in the cabinet like I did with the paddle battle cabinet. This one isn't bad at all, really. But it'll be basement worthy before you know it. I'm supposed to go to Arcade Jason's tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to work on the monitors. So hopefully I'll get lucky and be able to get a monitor working. I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping we can get them both working, because I'd like to give him one. Because he never, you know, I mean, just to help him out. It'd be nice for him to have the right size in his game. So, all right, guys, this is the end of part 2. Part 3 tomorrow. We're going to finish up the cabinet work, and we're going to do the body work to it. Part 4, we're going to be starting paint touch-ups for the cabinet, and for we got to paint that bezel. We're going to paint that bezel white with automotive paint. I'm not going to waste my time trying to bleach it and get it sort of white again. We're just going to get it white. We're going to paint it white. We're going to put a satin clear on it. It's going to hold up for a long, long time. We won't have to worry about it yellowing out on me ever again or anything like that. So I think that's it, guys. Cabinet feels real sturdy. Making sure it's together. But yeah, it's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. This thing's going to last another 35, 40 years, as long as nobody abuses it. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Please, if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up. The more people that hit the thumbs up, supposedly gets the video out there more, and more people will view the video. I have tons of subscribers. I don't have tons of views per video. So having 10,000 subscribers and only getting 400 or 500 views per video, it really doesn't do much good. You know what I mean? I'd like to get more people to watch the videos. So if you guys wouldn't mind sharing it to people that you know that are into the hobby or something like that, and keep in mind, I'm gonna be doing pinballs too. I'm actually gonna be going in the house here after I clean up my mess, and starting to write down my order for the Gottlieb pinball pool. So I'm going to be ordering parts from Pinball Resource. Has anybody ever ordered from Pinball Resource? You'll know that you cannot place an order online, okay? They do not have an online thing to order from. They do not take credit cards. They do not take PayPal. They do not take any of that stuff. You basically have to email them an order, and he'll email me a bill. I'll send him a check in the mail. The snails that work at the post office will slither it to him. Once he gets it, then once the check clears, he'll send out my parts, which is totally fine. I'm totally cool with that, because I'm not even starting on it yet. But I want to get a jump on getting the parts here, because I love to have all the parts to these games, because once I do the bodywork and paint, I just want to put the damn thing together. And as you notice in the basement, I got some games I had to wait months to put together because I'm waiting on parts, you know what I mean? And it sucks. I try to get prepared and get everything ahead of time, but sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. So yeah, I'm gonna order new plastics for all the tops of everything. I'm gonna order a bunch of stuff. So basically, he sells a plastic set to cover over all the bumpers and stuff for like $80. Okay, on eBay and Marco Pinball, they're $129 for the set. So why not save $40? Okay, so I waited an extra couple weeks to get the parts. That's $40. That $40 is gonna buy a ton of other parts, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the parts I need new flippers and stuff like that. They're like $6 a piece, $4 a piece. You know, a rubber kit's like $18. So basically I'm gonna get a set of flippers, a rubber kit, and probably another couple little parts for the money I'm saving for waiting a little bit longer to mail a check. So if you guys are into pinball and you have some of these older games like that, check them out and see if they have any parts for you. I didn't really go on the website. They have a website, you just can't order off of it. I didn't really go on there other than to look at the parts for the pinball pool, which is what I have. They do have parts for other pinball machines too, obviously. I just didn't look in depth into it yet. I just looked at it a little bit today. So I'm gonna get all that stuff ordered now so that I have it, because I'd like to get the playfield done in the next couple weeks here. Get the paint touched up, get it clear coated and everything, and get that in the basement. And then we'll work on the cabinet. Once the cabinet's in the basement, I'm ready to switch everything over from the playfield to playfield and start putting the cabinet together. So I want to get that going. So thanks for watching once again, guys. And like I said, please hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you could share it to anybody, I'd appreciate that too. And any questions, please feel free to ask. Any comments, feel free to send a comment. I always respond to everybody, unless for some reason it gets by me and I don't see it, which it does happen rarely. Sometimes it does, but for the most part, I usually get back to everybody really quickly. So thanks, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.